Diddy's children had managed to stay out of the spotlight for the most part as their father's trial unfolded. But it seems the recent focus on their own histories has brought some truly horrifying revelations to light.
If you don't mind me saying, tis tales. And she said that she was going through the whole lawsuit. And in the lawsuit it stated that he was recording a song. And the guy, Little Rob, had it in the recording that the girl was actually fighting him off her, and he was trying to make her drink some tequila, and she said, "What's in it? Is anything in it?" And he was trying to fondle on her or whatever like that during the time. And Lil Rob picked that up at the recording. So she's a part of the lawsuit.
What's interesting is the timing. As Diddy waits for his sentencing on federal charges, 6 of his children have stepped up to write letters supporting their father, who has already spent more than a year behind bars. Diddy was found guilty on 2 counts of transportation for illegal purposes, and now Judge Arun Subramanian will decide what comes next. Even though prison time is still on the table, Diddy avoided a possible life sentence after being cleared of other major charges. His defense team has submitted a large stack of letters to the court, hoping to show another side of him. Among those are letters from 6 of his 7 children.
Good morning, guys.
Top of the morning, y'all. Stepping, looking Fleeto, stepping. Oh my God! That jacket is, oh my God. That's the most fire jacket ever. Oh my God.
Good morning, guys.
The children describe Diddy as a loving and steady presence in their lives, someone who taught them values they still carry today. "My dad is not perfect," Justin Combs wrote. "I know he has made mistakes, and I do not deny that. But I refuse to let those mistakes erase the truth of who he is, a loving, present father who has instilled in me and my siblings the importance of respecting and honoring women, and of standing tall in the face of adversity. He is the anchor of our family, the one we look to for guidance and reassurance." Gene Deal, however, believes this is all a facade from Justin and claims he actually stands to gain a lot from his father being imprisoned.
Let me just tell you something, bro. And this is real talk. He's still going to jail. You happy because he didn't get the RICO and the racketeering, so he gets to keep his money. He gets to keep his inheritance. He gets to keep all the that they stole over the years from other people. That's why he happy. Him and Puff wasn't that tight. They used to go at it. People close by would tell that story. Yeah, that's still his father. But you and I both know that extra right out there, come on, man. Outside the court, the judge might give him extra time for this and his antics. Puff not coming home, bro. And you gotta realize, at 50-something years old, he'll come out to get his Social Security or better. How old is he? Born in 69? We're like 54, 55, something like that. He'll come out and get his Social Security. He had to do 85% of his time. That right there, King Kong or Christian, acting like that in front of the courts, in front of everybody.
Other letters mentioned how Diddy stepped up for the family after the passing of Kim Porter, the children's mother, in 2018. Quincy Brown shared, "My pops, as he's always done for his children, stepped up and made it a priority to be present with us at a time when he didn't even know how to be there for himself. Having to say goodbye to our mother brought us closer in ways that only grief could." Delilah and Jesse, who just graduated high school, echoed that sentiment in a joint letter. "Our family has faced many challenges through the years, but no matter what, we continue to stick together through it all. We know who our father truly is, a caring, loving, generous, passionate, and dedicated man." Christian Combs wrote more directly to the judge, saying, "Please let him out. This is driving me crazy and my family crazy. I'm asking for grace and compassion for the family. Please let my dad out of jail. But could Diddy really get out earlier just because his family is writing letters to the judge? It's unlikely, but his attorneys have made a bold move by requesting a sentence of no more than 14 months, nearly the exact amount of time Diddy has already served. If the judge agrees, there's a chance he could be released before the end of the year. TMZ had also previously reported that Diddy might already be working behind the scenes with the government to secure his release.
Well, Diddy is upping his offer to the government. He wants out of jail right now. You know that he is still behind bars at Brooklyn MDC while he is awaiting his sentence in October. But right after he was sentenced, they tried to get out on bail. They made an offer. They said, we'd like for him to be released on $1 million bail. The judge shut that down. So now it's like he's playing Let's Make a Deal, right? How about this, Your Honor? What if we offer a $50 million bail package? The money has gone up, but the reason that he thinks he should get out is because he says what he's convicted of were non-violent offenses.
And he's right. He's right that he was convicted on 2 counts of the Mann Act. The Mann Act is hiring a prostitute and taking the prostitute across state lines. It's a non-violent crime. So when you look at what happened, there were allegations that he was violent toward Cassie and Jane, during the prosecution's case.
There was testimony.
But the jury found him not guilty on those counts. And when you look at the Intercontinental video in 2016, he would have been convicted had he been prosecuted in California.
Right.
But he wasn't. And the statute of limitations ran. So his position is, look, you're holding me because you say I have violent propensities, but that's not what I was convicted on.
It's not what he was convicted on, but those violent propensities do exist.
Look, the bottom line is they didn't convict him
You guys
of
are arguing the
violence.
wrong point. The Mann Act, under the bail statute, you can argue what you think the law should be. Here's what the law is. Under the bail statute, it is considered a violent crime. We can say it doesn't include violent. The Mann Act, 18 U.S.C. 2421, prohibits the transportation of individuals across state lines for prostitution and other immoral purposes. This is called a crime of violence when determining whether to detain a defendant on bail.
Right, on bail.
Counsel, wait a second. He just dropped code on you. He had the actual.
He's asking for bail.
Hold on. No, but the judge didn't allow bail for $1 million.
I know.
They were willing to put $1 million up. And by the way, you know as well as I know that and I'm not defending Diddy here. All I'm saying is, no, I'm not. I mean, Diddy should have been convicted in California.
Hold on.
But what I'm saying is, the Mann Act is not a violent crime.
I know what you're saying. I get it.
It's not.
But the judge has to go by the code.
So is this about amount? Is this about amount?
It's not about amount. So
it says on bail. It says on bail.
The violent crime, the defendant, the convicted defendant, has to prove by preponderance of the evidence or convince the judge one of two things. Either, both, he's not a flight risk. The judge did not weigh not letting him out on him being a flight risk. There's no real evidence he's a flight risk, and that's what the money would go to. Is he willing to leave $50 million behind? He has an ankle monitor.
Right.
He's not really a flight risk.
Surrenders passport too.
Surrenders passport. The other thing that Diddy has to show, the burden is on Diddy, is that he is not likely to commit the same violent act, the Mann Act, again. Diddy, remember, even though he knew he was under federal surveillance, even though he was about to be arrested, was conducting a freak-off.
So what you're saying is they will keep him behind bars pending sentencing because they're afraid he might have a freak-off with a prostitute.
Correct.
That possibility seems to be gaining credibility by the day. Even Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, who turns 85 this year, wrote a letter of support. She admitted her son has made terrible mistakes but pleaded with the court to also see the man she raised. So far, Diddy has been denied bail each time his team has requested it, leaving October's sentencing as the family's biggest hope for a reunion. But many argue that Diddy's family is the last group that should be appealing to the judge's emotions, given the shady allegations surrounding them. Take Justin Combs, for example. Even as Diddy's high-profile trial was unfolding, he and his father were named in a brand new lawsuit filed in Los Angeles. According to the filing, Justin allegedly used his father's fame to lure a woman from Louisiana to Los Angeles under the impression of a job opportunity. Once she arrived, the complaint claims she was mistreated and pressured over the course of a weekend. The timing of this lawsuit is striking. It landed right as Diddy's trial was in its final stage. And on that same day, his other son, Christian, better known as King Combs, dropped a new 7-song album called Never Stop. One track, titled Diddy Free, lists Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, as a producer. To some, it seems Christian may be following in his father's footsteps in all the wrong ways.
I heard about the mixtape, bro. I heard some of the lyrics is on there. But when do you grow up, man, and be who you really are? Because you ain't no gangster. You don't know what a gangster is. You a prankster. You a prankster, son. Stop that. I think when the people heard the mixtape and they called him out on it, and they was checking him and they was trying to check him, but they lost, bruh. They don't have no guidance. The dude who's supposed to be doing, I don't know if he's security or whatever like that. Man, what the f is you doing out here like this? He gets on the ground and start doing push-ups up with him. Bruh, for real? Man, put your shirt on and get your ass back in that damn car. Stop acting like you stupid. Act like you got some sense. That's when they making the dollar make them, bruh. The dollar is making them. What you happy about? You gotta realize they know his daddy's still going to jail. They happy because they feel like the government doesn't have a right to mess with nobody's assets at this time. The verdict on the RICO, non and void. Nothing. Racketeering, nothing. And I guess it was some kind of, what was the other charge? Sex or something like that? Not sex. They got the sex charges, but the RICO, the racketeering, and the kidnapping. The kidnapping, coercion, kidnapping, all this like that. All that was non-void. It went nowhere. It went nowhere. But you still partying? Your dad about to do some time. So he ain't getting life. Maybe he was around there dancing because Diddy ain't getting life.
Gene Deal even suggested that it was King's reckless behavior that may have contributed to Diddy's arrest in the first place.
I feel like he played a part in that video coming up. You know, him making a comment saying that, you know, they forgot to raid the house next door that his dad owned. Yeah, man, he was wilding out, man.
Yeah, I think he was just. I don't believe he bought the house next door. Because let me just tell you something. If anything or any name that had to do with Bad Boy, the federal government going to run that. They know all the properties Diddy have. They wasn't even talking about the raid that they did in New York, but they did a raid in New York too.
Yeah, I ain't hear about that raid. I only heard about the, you know, the LA and Miami raid. But you feel like the feds, they released that video over King Combs' comments.
Oh man, I've worked in law enforcement for 27 years. And I had the opportunity to see HIDA. It's a place, whereas they have the state, the feds, the NYPD, the Department of Corrections, and the state police. Yo, this place could be half of a basketball court. That's where they just got lines of computers with officers of all different people and officers just on the internet. Whoever's over that case, whoever's working that case, don't you know they saw that and took it to their boss? You might think it's petty, but it's not. You do not agitate a lion with a pork chop. And that's what that kid did, bro.
Some people feel like, Diddy, he played a part in that video coming out too. Him being spotted with Stevie J, smiling at the camera. A lot of people blame him too.
But bro, what did I tell you? He's such a narcissist that he has to be in the public.
For Diddy, legal challenges are nothing new. His troubles began in late 2023, when his former partner, Cassandra Cassie Ventura, filed a lawsuit accusing him of serious misconduct. That case was settled the very next day for $20 million, but it opened the floodgates for a wave of similar lawsuits. The most recent lawsuit alleges Justin promised career opportunities and used personal photos to gain leverage over the woman involved. It also accuses Diddy of having a long history of misconduct, suggesting Justin's alleged actions followed the same patterns. In response, Diddy's legal team has firmly denied all claims. The plaintiff says the experience left her with severe emotional distress and is seeking damages. Meanwhile, speculation online suggests Diddy himself may be leaking information about his own children to deflect attention from his own legal battles.
Diddy does have a plan to try to derail the information, derail the chain of evidence, derail history as it actually happened. And he is the kind of guy that has no problem with re-victimizing people all over again. Let's just keep it a buck. These girls showed up at a very opportune time, did they not? Adria and Lamisha Fuller. Very opportune time. I do Pierce Morgan. The elites go insane. Ariel Mitchell Kidd drops Adria English as a client after she got drunk and talked with Tasha K, which was bad in itself if you ask me.
And it's not just Diddy's sons making headlines. His mother has also come under scrutiny. A Rolling Stone article from January revealed that Janice was known for throwing wild parties in Diddy's childhood home, even participating in freak-offs.
A guy named D1 that's suing her.
I think that they accusing Diddy mom of stealing anything is wrong. All she did was allow him to put certain things in her name to protect. If at any time, because of some of the things that he was doing and the nature of what he was doing and he knew he was doing to people, if he ever sued, he'd probably be safe having money and things in her name. Do you understand that? See, I don't believe Miss Combs gave that stuff up a long time ago when she used to do her little modeling thing with her little ladies of the night, the little wild parties. When she gave that up, I don't think she was in the business. I don't think she was in the business to know exactly where the money's going, how's coming in, who she's taking it from. He was just doing it and putting it and had the authority to put it in her name. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, but let me ask you this. Do you think she knew what he was doing?
I believe she knew he was doing the freak-offs, but do I believe she knew he was allocating different monies to different places and which way it was going, which offshore accounts, which Swiss banks account and all this shit was going in? Nah. I think she just was enjoying the fruits of the labor.
But why you believe she knew about the freak-offs?
Because one of the witnesses said she was there.
Gene Deal went further, alleging that Diddy and his mother had an inappropriate relationship.
I'm looking at his mother and him on the couch, and both of them are getting IVs after one of the Diddy parties. Allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know. But they showed them both getting IVs on the couch. So my whole thing about this thing is that I'm not saying that she was ever at a freak off. She was ever at that type of party. But you can't tell me Miss Janice Combs, who was always at the regular parties, didn't know nothing about the freak off parties. This is the same dude, bruh, that used to disrespect his mother. So I seen the love now that they have for each other only on film and camera. You know, on the YouTube or Instagram or wherever they were showing it and stuff like that. But this the same guy that Kirk Burrows once told me he slapped his mother. And I told everybody, had I known he slapped his mother after I told Kirk Burrows, Kirk told me after I straightened his ass out for cussing his mama out. His mother came in the limousine and he was on the phone and she said, yo, why don't you tell these people like that? And he just cussed her clean out like on some, didn't I tell you to stay out my motherfucking business? And I was like, yo, I was shocked. She didn't say nothing. I said to him, I said, yo, boy, let me tell you something. If you ever cuss your mama again, I'm gonna beat the shit out you. You ain't gonna bring nothing but bad luck to us treating your mama like that.
Hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson, a longtime childhood friend of Diddy's, spoke about this in the new documentary Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy, which premieres on Peacock. That's what we were privy to. This is what we were fed, Patterson said. Was it desensitizing us? I'm sure it was. Were we aware of it? No, that was just Saturday night. He even suggested that Diddy's early environment could explain how the mogul later found himself facing so many investigations and lawsuits. This theory has been echoed by several sources, including Jaguar Wright and Suge Knight, who claim Diddy's behavior was learned from some of the biggest names in the industry.
Clive Davis put Sean Combs in position. That's what Clive Davis does. The amount of abuse Janis Joplin suffered when she wanted to leave Clive Davis management. The amount of Whitney Houston suffered when she was ready to write her book. And then all of the she suffered. You know, Luther Vandross, it was nasty work, Clive. Swinging it at Jay-Z's knees. I'm swinging it at Clive Davis's knees. And I'm swinging it at anybody else's knees who has had anything to do with this tyranny, with this evil.
Jaguar Wright explained that Clive Davis acts like he doesn't even know Diddy. An interviewer tried to ask Clive Davis what he thought about Diddy's situation, and he literally played like he was an old man and he couldn't understand what the interviewer was asking him. And when I tell you, you could see it in Clive Davis's face that he knew exactly what this man was asking him. He just didn't know how he was going to try to answer this question. It was so awkward. Then the person next to Clive Davis said they're asking about Diddy, and Clive Davis didn't say a word, and he continued to walk into this restaurant. This interviewer waited outside of this restaurant for Clive Davis to come out and then asked him about Diddy all over again, and Clive Davis wouldn't even look this man in the eye, and he continued to get in his car, and he actually rolls up the window on this interviewer. And we know that Clive Davis is the person that mentored Diddy and helped him with Bad Boy Records. And Jaguar Wright has talked about Clive Davis and Diddy's relationship for a long time.
A lot of people are curious about the status of P. Diddy.
Status of what?
P. Diddy. Diddy.
I can't read the status of Pumpkin.
What do you make of that situation? All right. No comment from Clive Davis on P. Diddy. Mr. Davis, you're a major influence on the career of P. Diddy. Have you spoken to him since the federal raid?
Yes.
Have you spoken to Sean Combs? Any comment, Mr. Davis? Any comments about Diddy? He credits you as one of his mentors.
And in her new interview with Real Life Street Stars, they actually brought up this weird encounter with Clive Davis to ask Jaguar Wright how she felt about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll you guys this clip of Jaguar Wright explaining why Clive Davis would act like he couldn't understand questions about Diddy, and you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
You mentioned Clive Davis. They just showed him recently walking into somewhere, and they asked him about Diddy, and he said, "Who?" Is that old age, or does he not? They're not in the same world. Or they're in the same world, but they're not cohorts.
He's definitely been his.
Oh. Okay.
I would call that the same world.
Okay. It's pretty
And
intertwined.
for him to say Diddy who is his way of saying, I'm not talking about Sean anymore. Maybe he's been playing cozy with the other Sean.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, I think for appearance sake, they're afraid to do that. But I got two questions. One, Clive Davis, his name has been thrown around a lot now, and he's not speaking out. I know some people that know Clive, and I think he's got concerns. Now, he's a powerful guy, no question about it. But did you ever hear anything about him?
Puffy and Clyde, according to Puffy and everybody else, they've been lovers. Shit, Clyde know Ray J, Clyde know Puffy, Clyde know everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Clyde's that type of guy. And if you notice, somebody sent me a clip one time on my tablet, and somebody asked Clyde about Puffy. They called me, they asked him about it. He acted like he didn't know who the man was, like he never knew him. I mean, what did you hide, Clyde? You know?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Clyde is one of the guys who got away. But old as Clyde is, he should be able to tell the truth. It ain't like he got a lot to live on Earth. I'm quite sure he is slowly coming to a painful end.
Altogether, the 90-minute documentary paints a troubling picture of how Diddy's childhood, family dynamics, and early environment may have influenced the man he became, and how those same patterns may now be repeating through his children. What do you think of the whole situation? Let us know in the comments below.